What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Scale News Update. If you're not familiar with the show, this is where we talk about the news topics that happened in the scale world of RC over the past week. If you enjoy the Scale News Update regularly, hit the like button. Let's jump into this week's topics. First for this week, a new release from Vanquish Products, and this is the VS4-10 Fordyce RTR. This new RTR from Vanquish is on the VS4-10 platform with the F10 straight axles. It's got the new Fordyce body on top, which shares the bed sides and rear cage from the Phoenix. Fordyce body is named after the Fordyce Trail located in Northern California, and it's one of the most difficult trails in California. Now, underneath of that body, this RTR comes with the standard VFD transmission, the same one that came in the VS4-10 Ultra. There's been a number of other changes, such as this car also now has new KMC Riot beadlock wheels. These are 3-piece molded beadlock wheel that now use 8 screws from the backside to clamp the bead down. These don't have the replaceable hub, but they use the same inner clamp ring that are used on the other Vanquish aluminum wheels. So adding weight to these wheels is easy if that's something that you're after. All the RTR electronics are still the same inside, but with the F10 axles and that VFD transmission, this thing is just going to be a bulletproof option if you're in the market for an RTR. This is also the least expensive RTR Vanquish has released at this point at $459. It's available in both a gray color and a blue color, so depending on which one you like, you can pick these up now. They're in stock at distributors and dealers. If you go direct to Vanquish, you can use the code HDFordyce at checkout, and you get a little aluminum laser etched card that I made as part of the video that I put out for the release. If you'd like more details on that, you can go watch the video on it. This is my favorite VS4-10 right now. I love the style, I love the way that it drives. So, also new from Vanquish this week are the new Stance foams. These are a 2-stage foam. These are available in 2 sizes currently, specifically made to fit well into the 465 Falcon Wild Peaks as well as the 475 VXT2 tires. So if you're looking for foam upgrades for those specific tires, go check out those 2 options. Traxxas released 2 new light kits this week for the TRX4M lineup. One is for the actual TRX4M. It's a light bar for the, above the windshield, and then one for the front bumper. And then they also released one for the TRX4M compatible trailer. So you can get your light bar set up for the vehicle, and then this little trailer adapter as well. Plugs in kind of like a real full-size trailer. It's got a plug right next to the hitch where you can connect and disconnect it from the ESC. Kind of cool to see how they did that. Some little simple lights on the trailer is kind of cool to see. I get that. The light bars on the vehicles themselves, they show the photos on the Bronco as well as the Defender, but they look super appropriate. They did a good job. The scale of these looks nice. It looks like they're fairly bright. I haven't seen them in person. The ESC that Traxxas developed for the TRX4M already had all of this stuff thought into it, so it's only a matter of time before we saw it. Probably took a little bit longer than I would even expect with the number of light kits that Traxxas has been pumping out lately. So if you're looking to shed some light on the subject, go check out Traxxas' website. Next, the racing organization UF1 RC is under new ownership, and we don't cover a lot of racing here, but stay with me, it'll all come around. UF1 RC is a small scale version, kind of the full-size F1 world. You race in a 2-person team, you gotta have matching liveries. There's a lot of parallels to full-size and this small-scale F1 racing, all the way down to the qualifying structure as well as mains being done a little bit differently. Some pretty interesting stuff there, and maybe if you're in the SoCal area, it's something worth looking at. But the new owner of UF1 RC is Aaron Lane. And you may or may not know Aaron, but you likely know his work as he was the main designer behind the Element brand of things before he left there a few months ago. And I thought maybe we lost him from the RC world, but doesn't look like it. Looks like he's still gonna stay in the industry in some way. Speaking of Element, they released a new color option for the Bushido. That's their little samurai looking thing. Previously, I believe that this was only available in the white color, now available in the green. Beyond that, this is the same vehicle that you saw before. It's the standard Element fare underneath. It's not the SE version, so just a short wheelbase version with this kind of short, tall little body. Then Spektrum just put out a new 2-in-1 with dual protocol. And if you're not familiar with what the dual protocol is and why this is an interesting and good thing to see, is that previously the radios that were coming in, a lot of their RTRs were using the SLT protocol. And that meant that you couldn't bind these cars to the nicer DSM-R radios that Spektrum offered, which used to be a huge bonus to what Spektrum and Horizon brands were doing. People had nice Spektrum radios and they'd get this RTR and they could just bind it right to one of theirs. But now they brought in this SLT tech and it didn't allow you that option anymore, which was kind of a bummer and felt like that they were giving away one of the advantages that they had for the fact that it cost them less likely to produce in the first place. But now they're bringing in the dual protocol. So now these 2-in-1s will work with both SLT and DSM-R. So giving you back that ability to just bind your much nicer radio to these RTRs right away. Hopefully this is something that we see rolling out through a lot of their models so that they can get that advantage that they used to have back. It's a nice thing for Spektrum owners to be able to take advantage of. And you know, it kind of sucked to see that go away over time. These 2-in-1s, they've got a 60 amp and a 40 amp. This is a 4-channel receiver and an ESC built in. The 60 amp is less than $90, so not a bad price for an ESC and a receiver all at once. May not be a huge seller on its own, but I could see this coming in RTRs in the future, which again, just gives that advantage back to Spektrum and Horizon with the things that they have underneath their umbrella. Furitek has a new RTR coming out. This is the FX118 Fury Wagon. Now they posted some short clips of this with all of the specs in the description of the video, but not showing a lot of really good close-up stuff in their videos. However, there have been a couple of other shorts posted that show a little bit more detail yet. It appears that this is a Hobby Plus CR18 that Furitek has done their, put some treatment to with including a brushless system out of the box and putting an aluminum machined chassis on it. Beyond that, it looks pretty much like the regular Hobby Plus axles and transmission. It doesn't look like it's got one of their full machined transmissions or anything like that, but you're going to be able to pick this up brushless RTR for $200. So not a bad price for what they're offering. It is portal axles. The Hobby Plus stuff has been around for a while. I don't know that they've been as popular as a lot of the other brands, but definitely not an unknown completely on its own. So if you know anything about that brand, you'll have a leg up on seeing what's going to come with this. It does have the Fury Wagon body on top. It's servo on axle. It's got Bluetooth built in with their ESC. It's got a slightly larger wheel. It's a 1.2-inch wheel versus the standard 1.0s that you see on a lot of 124 scales. And it's got a 4-channel radio system included with it as well. So if you're a big fan of vehicles of this scale, get ready to check this one out here in the next week or so. I stopped over at Fair RC this week to see if there's anything else they'd dressed up, and to my surprise, I found a new one. This is the romantic adventure version of the Land Rover Series 3 or 2. Series 2. It's pink. It is the romantic adventurer. Yeah. I feel like they should have. I have such a hard time believing they just don't have anybody they could run these names by. That'll work. Go with it. Quite some time back, we saw a preview of a patrol body from Aplastics, and it's finally available. 313mm wheelbase, so it'll fit on standard 1.9 trail trucks. If you're a big fan of Nissan patrols, there hasn't been a lot of options for you. This one, I have to say that the promo photos don't make it look great. I feel like this thing needs a better paint job. The real heavy, distinct lines on the panel gaps, or panel lines, whatever, looks bad. Nissan patrols in general can look pretty good. I feel like this one just wasn't given a fair shake on the product detail photos. So hopefully one of you picks it up, maybe finish it up real nice and send them a photo because they need help. Someone send help to them. We covered the Lesu RC Unimog, the 406, a while back. This was a metal bodied, welded together setup that was done very well. It was, in the first photos about it, it was hard to tell how good it was going to be, but since they were released, some people have got them together, built them. Lesu appears to do a pretty decent job with a lot of their products. They're not cheap. The standard 406 was like around that $1,800 or $1,900 mark. So by no means cheap, but it was built in a unique way. It's not a Lexan body or injection molded. It's actually metal and welded together, and it had a flatbed on it. They just posted up some renderings of what appears to be kind of an Overland edition that they're going to be releasing. No further details beyond that. It does look like it's going to be awfully top heavy, just with everything that's got going on there and how tall and squared. It looks like a box that's just waiting to tip over. But in the name of scale accuracy, it's got a scale accurate drivetrain, the stance, everything about it is about how a real one would sit. So if you're a big fan of 406s and this style in general, you're probably not going to find something much more accurate than this. We'll have to wait and see what the price is. I think we could probably see that $2,500 mark as a guess. But again, for what they're offering and how it's done, probably not out of the picture. This Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, live stream Takeover, episode 181. Matt and I will be discussing the next series that we've got starting in about a week. So come join in the discussion of that. Talk a little bit about how it's going to go, what we got going on, all of that good news. And then Friday Night Live, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern as well. Same bat time, same bat channel. Last week I asked you guys to play Shark Tank and pitch your best ideas in RC in the comments. And there was some of the standard that I expected. This body, we need more hard bodies. We need a builder's kit of this or a 6x6 option here. But there was also some creative ones. So props to all because they were some of the best comments. Let's play another game show this week, and it's going to be Let's Make a Deal. If someone was going to offer you a lump sum for every single thing RC related that you currently own, and then you got to rebuild your collection and your tools and everything with that dollar amount, what would it have to be for you to let go of everything, regardless of how sentimental or whatever it was? What would it take for you to finally go, okay, you can take it? And then you would rebuy and rebuild from there everything you have. Let's hear the numbers. I feel like the biggest factor here is going to be that sentimental factor that a lot of people have. They're just like, nope, my first ever this or that, I thought I'd never get rid of it. You're going to have to pay me $1 million. But really, if someone came up to you and said, I'd give you $20,000, $10,000, $50,000, like, you're going to say no? What's the number? Get specific. No rounding. With that, as always, thank you for watching the Scale News Update. If you enjoy the videos, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're not already. Hit the notification bell to see the videos as soon as they get uploaded. Thanks, as always, for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.